the Miller Coors Urban Entrepreneur Series.
I'm Raquel Robinson, and I'd like to welcome you to the Muse Becoming a Supplier to Fortune 500 Companies webinar. We will first focus on looking for companies that understand supplier diversity, what companies buy, and understanding the procurement process. Our panel today consists of Alfred Edmonds, Senior Vice President and Editor-at-Large at Black Enterprise Magazine; Sheila Hill Morgan, President of the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council; and Thang Goche, an Entrepreneurship Fellow at the Levy Institute within the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University. If I, as a small business owner, would like to become a vendor or a supplier to Fortune 500 companies, what are some of the things I should consider?
One of the things I think you should consider, Raquel, is understanding supplier diversity. I think it's really critical that if you are a minority-owned company or a small business, that you look for organizations that have a special interest in working with small and minority-owned companies. They're very, very vocal about their interests, and so you will find a more welcoming group if that is what they've expressed.
One of the things that I tell business owners, particularly minority business owners, is to put the business before the minority. You have to have a credible management team, a credible business plan, you have to have a credible operating team, a proven history, all the things that apply to any aspect of business that you learn in an MBA program. Being a diverse supplier doesn't necessarily mean companies are jumping up and down to do business with you. You have to provide some value, you have to articulate what that value is, and you have to be aggressive to go out and sell your wares particularly to these big companies.
Well, there's a couple of things you should consider. One, how does becoming a corporate supplier fit into your larger business objectives? Not just a minority supplier, but a corporate supplier. If it doesn't fit into larger business objectives, if you're not prepared for the growth, if you're not prepared for the operational changes and administrative expenses that may come with that, then just looking at the potential dollars of being a supplier is really not the right way to go. So you don't want to just think of, I want to be a minority supplier. You want to say, being a corporate supplier in general, minority or not, is part of my strategic objectives. The second thing is you got to remember that minority may be the way you get into the door, but you're going to have to hit the same targets and meet the same standards as any other supplier. And this goes to some of the things that were said earlier. Are your reporting mechanisms in place? Are your financial operations in place? Are you prepared for the standard you're going to have to meet to be a corporate supplier? Again, it's very, very attractive to be able to say I'm a major corporate supplier and I have huge clients and huge accounts, but you got to be operationally, financially, and strategically prepared for what that means.
What are some other things that I need to know or be aware of relative to what companies buy and their procurement process?
Well, the great thing about the age that we live in today is most of this information is available free online via the internet. If you're going to try to sell to a large Fortune 500 company, just about everything you need to know about how to get into their procurement program, how long it takes, and also everything you need to know about the company's strategy, who the key players are. All of that information is available to you for free. So when you meet with suppliers and representatives of supplier programs, you need to come prepared and armed with all of that information. A lot of people are trying to get into these companies every day. It's a very, very competitive situation, and you can stand out by almost knowing more about their company than the supplier person knows themselves.
Thank you for joining the Muse Becoming a Supplier to Fortune 500 Companies, part 1 of 3. I'd like to thank all of our panelists for their information today and remind you to apply for the business plan competition this year. I'm Raquel Robinson.
The Miller Coors Urban Entrepreneur Series. Your life, your time, your business. What are you waiting for?